Hi and welcome to the Williams Tops TV community. I'm your host today, and we will explore together the 10 strangest things found by deep-sea divers. From ancient artifacts to sunken ships, each of these underwater wonders shows us a small part of human history and marine life. Number 10. Underwater Museum of Art. In Cancun, Mexico, there is an underwater sculpture park known as the Underwater Museum of Art. This is the first and largest underwater museum in the world, with over 500 submerged sculptures at almost 10 meters deep. The pieces are made of marine concrete, which promotes the development of marine flora and fauna. This museum is unique because visitors can dive into the Caribbean water to see the sculptures. You can do it on glass-bottom boats, snorkeling, or scuba diving. It is an impressive sight and a unique experience. In addition, by visiting this museum, you are supporting the conservation of the marine environment, as the sculptures provide a habitat for marine life and help keep tourists away from nearby natural reefs, protecting them from damage. Number 9. F4U Corsair wreck. During World War II, the F4U Corsair was one of the most successful and feared planes on the battlefield. However, on one occasion, one of these American fighters ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. Despite the impact, the plane remained in good condition, and the pilots managed to survive the accident. This warplane is currently located 70 meters deep off the coast of Vanuatu Island in the South Pacific. The site is known as Million Dollar Point due to the large amount of military equipment and other goods abandoned by the Americans after World War II. The preservation of the F4U Corsair at the bottom of the sea is due to the lack of pollution and the low oxygen pressure at those depths. Treasure hunters and amateur divers are drawn to this piece of history, but it is strictly prohibited to remove any part of the plane. In fact, the site is protected by the Vanuatu government as a cultural heritage site. Number 8. City of Heracleion. Heracleion was an important port city in ancient Egypt, located in the Nile Delta near the current city of Alexandria. It was the center of international trade and tax collection during its peak in the 12th century before Christ. However, at some point in the 8th century before Christ, the city sank into the sea due to a combination of earthquakes and the rising sea level. For centuries, Heracleion remained a submerged city in the sea, until in 2000, archaeologist Frank Gaudio discovered its ruins in the Bay of Abukir, about 30 meters deep. The discovery was exciting, as remains of the city, including 5-meter-high statues, sarcophagi, coins, and ships, were found intact underwater for more than 1,200 years. The archaeological find has revealed valuable information about life in ancient Egypt and has helped historians better understand the importance of the city in ancient Egyptian civilization. Number 7. Antikythera Mechanism. The Antikythera Mechanism is an ancient mechanical device dating back to the 2nd century before Christ. It was found in a shipwreck on the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901. It is considered one of the most astonishing objects of antiquity, as it is an analog computer capable of predicting astronomical positions and eclipses. The device is a set of more than 30 gears that form a complex system, suggesting that the technology used to build it was very advanced for its time. Scientists have been able to reconstruct its operation through X-ray studies and have discovered that it is an accurate astronomical calendar that shows the position of planets and phases of the moon. In addition to the Antikythera mechanism, the shipwreck also contained bronze and marble statues, pottery, jewelry, and ancient coins. The discovery of this astronomical device has changed the way ancient Greek science and technology is perceived. Number 6. Satellite. The USNS General Hoyt S. Vandenberg was a U.S. Navy ship used for decades as a communications and military vessel. After it was decommissioned, it was sunk off the coast of Key West, Florida, to become an artificial reef. What makes this reef unique is that the ship had huge satellite antennas installed on its deck, giving it an unusual and fascinating appearance underwater. The Vandenberg is now a popular destination for divers, who can explore the decks and antennas of the ship while observing the marine life that has grown around it. This strange underwater structure is an impressive example of how nature can take over abandoned human creations. Number 5. Ms. Zenobia. The MS Zenobia is a very interesting wreck for divers and maritime history enthusiasts. This ship was a ferry that transported goods and vehicles across the Mediterranean Sea. In 1980, while sailing off the coast of Cyprus, the ship began to tilt dangerously, which led the crew to abandon the ship and resulted in its subsequent sinking. The most surprising thing about this wreck is that at the time of sinking, the ship was full of trucks and other objects, which are now lying at the bottom of the sea. Because of this, the wreck has become an underwater museum that allows divers to recreate a terrestrial scene underwater, where they can see trucks and other vehicles trapped inside. It is undoubtedly a fascinating and mysterious place that has captured the attention of many people over the years. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. We also invite you to activate the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Thank you for being here. Number 4. M42 Tank. The M42 Tank is an anti-aircraft combat vehicle that was used by the Jordanian army. However, instead of scrapping it after its use, it was intentionally sunk to create an artificial reef and promote the growth of marine life in the area. The transformation of this military artifact's use into an effort to preserve the environment is notable and represents a trend in the growing awareness of ocean conservation. Now, this tank can be visited at the bottom of the sea near Jordan, making it a popular destination for divers and snorkelers who want to experience the thrill of seeing a sunken combat vehicle up close and the beauty of the marine life that has grown on its structure. Number 3. USS Oriskany. The USS Oriskany was one of the most iconic aircraft carriers of the United States Navy. Known for its numerous victories and for serving in the Vietnam War, this vessel was finally retired from service in 1976. After years of being anchored and unused, it was decided to sink it in 2006 in the Gulf of Mexico to create an artificial reef and promote marine life in the area. The sinking process was quite an event in itself, with thousands of spectators coming to witness it. After several controlled explosions, the USS Oriskany sank to a depth of 64 meters, becoming one of the largest artificial reefs in the world. Since then, the USS Oriskany has become an attractive destination for divers who want to explore its imposing structure and the abundance of marine life that has developed around it. Number 2. River under the sea. The discovery of the river under the sea is fascinating and unique in its kind. It is a saltwater river that flows through a freshwater pocket. What's most surprising is that it has a perfectly defined shape, with vegetation and trees growing underwater. This phenomenon is due to the chemical composition of the area, which creates an ideal environment for the formation of the river under the sea. The area where this river is located has become a place of interest for divers and scientists who want to study the phenomenon in detail. The presence of a river under the water is a rarity in itself, but the fact that it has such a defined shape and thriving vegetation makes it even more impressive. In addition, this discovery has generated great interest in the scientific community, as it can provide valuable information about how underground rivers form and the geological processes that occur beneath the sea. Number 1. Fake skeletons. The discovery of 2 fake skeletons in the Colorado River was a very curious event and has caused a sensation in the diving community. Although at first glance it seemed like a scene out of a horror movie, it turned out to be an elaborate prank that had been placed there to surprise divers. Although it is unknown who was responsible for this prank, it is known that placing unusual objects on the seafloor is common among divers, who often try to create artifacts to decorate and enhance the appearance of artificial reefs. However, the placement of the fake skeletons in the Colorado River was a very particular case that became one of the most famous in the history of recreational diving. And thus, we conclude this fascinating tour of the 10 strangest things found by deep-sea divers. We hope you have enjoyed this journey and learned something new. Always remember to respect and care for the environment, including the sea and its hidden treasures. Thank you for joining us until here.